Hi, welcome to live stream yoga with Louise. Tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on the mat. Today's practice is all about relishing life's surprises. As always, play where you're comfortable, modify when you need to, rest when you need to. You ready? Let's hit the mat. We're going to set ourselves up standing more or less in the middle of the mat, finding a nice comfortable tall stand. Relax the arms at your side, thinking long line through not only the legs but the trunk and the neck. Begin with your chin line parallel to the floor. Take a big breath in, and then let's begin to release into the neck on the exhale as you look up to the sky. Inhale as you come back to neutral. Exhale as you look down to the floor. Inhale for neutral. Exhale to peep over one shoulder. Inhale to come back. Exhale to peek over the next. Repeat that pattern. Looking up, looking down, looking side to side. Working with your breath. Inhale every time you're in neutral, and then exhale every time you move your neck. Find a rhythm that makes sense for you. Complete one more full round of this neck release. And then let's begin to wake up the shoulders, thinking of taking a lazy backstroke and following the arm as it takes that stroke. Trying to keep still on the belly button down and rotating belly button up. Exhale on the stroke. Inhale as you come back to neutral. Then let's play with that rotation, but using the whole body. Start to give me a soft half a helicopter spin, side to side. Bending and pivoting on the back foot. And looking over your left shoulder, hold that rotation and start to play with the forearms, rotating your palms up and down and away. Keeping that pivot once you've made it. Looking over your back arm. Then side to side again with your half helicopter spin. And looking over the right shoulder and find that forearm rotation. Rotating your hands as far as they will go in one direction and then as far as they will go in the opposite direction. Then find your way back to neutral. Place your hands on your hips, soften your knees, and start to trace a lazy hula circle through the hips. Keep moving in the same direction. Keep your belly button softly pulled in. Then change direction, limbering up through the hips. Then stand up nice and tall, take a big breath in. On an exhale, sit back into chest, squeezing the two palms together. Inhale to stand up. Do about 10 of these dynamic seats. Exhaling as you sit, inhale as you come back. Hold your next seat. And then trying to keep that seat low, work tiny little pulsing motions. Then inhale to stand up tall. Exhale to sit for 10 more dynamic rounds. End in the seat. Pulse for 10. And then sink low and hold. When that burn in your thighs becomes too much, fold forward into a soft ragdoll side to side sway, keeping your knees soft and bendy, keeping your belly button pulled into center. End rotated to one side, hold it. Trying to extend the leg that you are rotated towards and bend the other. Then ragdoll side to side. End rotated in the opposite direction, hold that twist, fingers to floor, or you could do fingers holding on to the leg that you rotated towards. Then let's begin to play. Halfway fold into table, and then tapping the floor either with your fingertips or your hands for 10 successive repeats. Hold your next forward fold, swaying the weight back and forth between the balls and the heels of your feet. You could do hands to floor or hands to shins. Or if you're using a block, you can lean in to that block. Then hold a fold for 10, trying to keep the weight placement equal on the 4 quadrants of not only your feet, but the 4 quadrants of your hands, if you've got hands to floor. Find your way from here into a 4-point kneeling frame on the mat and begin to cat-cow, alternating between a hollow back and a rounded back. And today we're playing at a 1-to-1 inhalation to exhalation ratio, looking to limber up and wake up the spine, inhaling for the hollow back, exhaling for the rounded back. Finding a rhythm that resonates for you. We're going to end in the cat frame. Hold it. Breathing into the back of your rib cage. Then easing yourself into the neutral frame, walk your hands towards your legs and set yourself up in a nice tall kneel, actively pressing into the tops of your feet. Take an inhale as you cup your bum, leaning forward with your belly and looking up towards the sky. Exhale as you come back to neutral and drop your arms at your side, chin to chest. Repeat 10 times. Try to end in the gentle back bend, thinking of cupping your bum, bumping your hips forward over your knees, and holding that peak up to the sky, thinking of breathing into the chest and the front of your ribs. Ease your way back to neutral and find your way back to a 4-point kneeling frame on the mat for a dynamic bird dog. Float right arm and left leg out and up into table, palm looking into center. On an exhale, round out into a cat-like shape, thinking knee and elbow together, and then inhale to stretch roughly 10 times. End in the tuck, knee and elbow together, hold it. Then stretch the opposite arm and leg out and hold it. Trying to lengthen the right arm, the line of your spine, and the left leg. Lead your way back to neutral. Let's repeat on the second side. Finding your rhythm as you tuck and stretch. Remember to end in the tuck, hold it. Then stretch and hold. Find your way back to table and then walk your hands back towards your knees and set yourself up in that tall kneel. We're going to keep a small pelvic tilt through the pelvis. So think of curling your tailbone up, engaging your core and lengthening the lower back as we start to play with a little side to side arm drop. Gently waking up the sides of your trunk, sliding one arm down the length of your leg and then finding your way back to neutral and beginning to play in a tick-tock fashion. Let's do one more to each side before we find our way back to 4-point kneeling for some fire hydrants, and we'll play first with the legs. So you're going to think of finding a long tabletop line, then starting to circle the left knee 5 times in one direction, tracing a nice big lazy circle. And then 5 in the opposite direction. Then change legs. Five circles in one direction and 5 in the opposite. Come back to your tabletop position and think of tracing that same circle but now with the arms. 5 big circles in one direction. And then 5 in the other. Just allowing your fingers to drape on the mat. Change sides. Remember to do 5 in each direction. Then find your way back to a tall kneeling frame. You can keep your hands on your hips or you can keep them relaxed at your side. We're going to find some half camel step ups. Step one leg out to the side of the room. Come back to neutral and do the same to the second side. We're going to do roughly 5 sets. And you can use your hand to gently prise the inner thigh out as you find that step out position, if you like. Then you're going to hold your next step up, using that closest hand to pull the inner thigh out, and then maybe taking your other hand and just tucking it behind your back, or using your fingertips to reach for the inner thigh of your stepped out leg. Then start to release through your neck, looking over one shoulder and then the other, so that you're moving your neck in an east-west fashion. Find your way back to neutral and start to step your legs out dynamically again. 5 repeats before we hold on the second side. Just finding your rhythm. So you could be working a little bit faster or a little bit slower than I am. We're going to hold the next step out to the right. You're going to use your right arm to pull that inner thigh out. Maybe tuck the left arm just loosely behind your back, or maybe reaching your fingertips for the inner thigh of that right leg. When you're ready, begin to release through the neck, peeking over one shoulder and then the other. Moving with your breath. Inhale when your chin is in the middle, and then exhale to look over one side. Find your way back to neutral. We're going to find our way into a loose down dog frame from here. So think 4-point kneeling. Tuck your toes under. Begin to pike your bum up to the sky, finding a basic down dog, and then let's play with the arms. You're going to step up onto your fingertips and then step down. We're going to do that a few times dynamically. Trying to get the heels of your feet to relax to the floor as you play with the hands. End with your fingertips, hold. Pressing into your fingers and maybe thinking nose to knee. And then step up and down again a few times dynamically. Keeping belly to spine throughout. This time we're going to end palms down. Hold the stretch, thinking nose to knee. Try to ground your heels as best you can and look for that awesome stretch through the legs, through the line of the spine, through the line of your arms. Keeping your belly button softly pulled into center. Hold your down dog. When you're ready, release to child pose. Let's do flat feet sitting back, bum to heel, arms long and extended on the mat in front, getting a stretch from the armpit through the line of your arms, all the way to your palms and the tip of each finger. Then back to 4-point kneeling and bumping the hips forward. Coming into a kneeling up dog. Strong shoulders, strong arms. Back to child. Press into your palms, stretch the arms, stretch the trunk, stretch the spine. Make your bum bones heavy. Back to your kneeling up dog. Don't collapse through the two shoulders. Make sure you're strong through the arms, strong through the core. Back to child. Find your kneeling up dog. Working with your breath as we play dynamically. Press back into child. Back to your kneeling up dog. Back to child. Find your kneeling up dog. Hold it. Peek over your left shoulder for the edge of your mat. Back to neutral. Peek over your right shoulder. Back to child pose. Hold your child pose while we thread the needle. Take a big breath in, and then when you're ready on the exhale, thread your right arm underneath your left, sliding the arm through, peeking underneath the left armpit, and holding that stretch, making your threaded arm nice and heavy to the floor. Take a big breath in as you come back to extended child. When you're ready, on an exhale, thread to the second side, making that threaded arm nice and heavy, and remembering to peek under the right armpit. Find your way back to extended child, and then make your elbow points heavy to the floor and start to release through the wrists, lifting your fingertips off the mat and then flopping them back down to the mat. All the while breathing nice and deeply into the sides of your ribs. End with the fingertips softly draped to the floor, no tension in your arms at all. We're going to find our way into a thunderbolt seat, sitting back bum to heel, and you can do big toes together, knees nice and wide, or you can bring the legs closer together if you like. We're going to begin in a neutral spine, allowing for a nice S-curve through the spine, and then we'll find some pelvic tilts here, curling your tailbone in, contracting your abs and lengthening the lower back, and then releasing back to neutral. Do that a few times dynamically, exhaling and pausing in the contraction before releasing back to neutral on the inhale. We're going to try to end in the pelvic tilt and then find some Kegels here. Squeezing your deep internal pelvic floor muscles as tightly as you can, and then releasing them without losing the pelvic tilt. You can close your eyes if that helps you to connect to those deep internal muscles. We're going to try to end in your deepest squeeze. Hold for 10. Then release the Kegel squeeze and undo your tilt. Find your way from here into a gentle twist. Exhaling as you look over one shoulder, grabbing opposite hand to hip. Inhale as you come back to the middle. Exhale as you peek over the opposite shoulder, grabbing opposite hand to hip. Undo your twist and find your way to a tall start seat at the top end of the mat with enough room behind you to come down on the back. We're going to sit up nice and tall, feet maybe just inside of hip width distance apart, and we're going to bring the hands to Jupiter Mudra at about shoulder height. So fingertips interlaced, index fingers together, thumbs crossed, and we're going to gently seesaw back and front, keeping a long line through the trunk. Inhaling to lean back, exhaling to lean forward. We're going to end in the forward fold, and you're going to drop your head between your two arms and hold that soft stretch. Just trying to gently lengthen through the line of the spine as best you can without overthinking the stretch. Then lean back, weight just off your tailbone, and find your way into a boat line with a little bend in the knees. Hold. Keeping a long line through the spine and pulling an imaginary zip up from the pelvic floor towards your belly button line. Then back to a tall seat. Let's cross the left arm over the right. So stacked forearms. We're going to press down with the left arm and we're going to bear up with the right as we find some single leg lifts with the right leg. Maintaining our tall seat. Try to end in the lift. Hold for 10. Then keeping the right leg lifted slightly higher than the left, you're going to start to fall back into a hollow hold, and you're going to hold that contraction in your belly. Keep the two hands active, or rather the two arms active. Then soften your leg line and find a little flutter kick. End with the two legs parallel to one another. Soft reach through the toe. Hold that hollow hold. Lower back imprinted, belly engaged. Then bend your knees, ground your feet, relax your shoulders and your head to the floor. And reach your fingertips for the sky. Shoulder blades connected to the mat and your palms looking towards your knees. You're going to begin in this neutral line. And you're going to take a big breath in. On an exhale, you're going to tilt your pelvis to 12. You're going to imprint your lower and your mid back. You're going to pull your knees to 90. You're going to peel your chest and shoulders off the mat. You're going to look down towards your belly, arms floating alongside your hips, holding that contraction. Then inhale to come back. We're going to do that 5 times. Exhaling as you scoop, come up and hold. Inhale as you find your way back to neutral. We're going to end in the scoop, hold for 10. Then relax your feet and your arms down to the mat. Arms are alongside the body. We're going to play with some dynamic bridges before we hold the bridge and play with it. Think of peeling up from the mat, curling your tailbone in and running through the line of your spine as you disengage from the mat and re-engage the mat. Peeling up and down maybe 5 times. We're going to end in the bridge line, belly to sky, feet active and engaged. Try to keep the two hip bones alongside one another, so no dipping as you find a marching knee line. Pull one knee up to 90, reground, and then march on the second side. Trying to keep those hips as level as you can while finding that marching pattern through the legs. Try to end with your right knee up and hold that one-legged table for a count of 10. Then reground both feet. Peel back down to the mat. Give yourself a recovery breath or two. And then when you're ready, come back into a hollow hold by imprinting your lower and your mid back, pulling your legs up to 90, peeling your shoulders off the mat, holding onto the back of your thighs. So a little bit deeper, maybe you've got more of your back line off the mat. Then inhale to float back down. 4 more times, finding that nice deep scoop with your abs engaged. Then we're going to use this tuck to roll forward into a seat, pressing into a forward fold, pressing onto the tops of our thighs, and then rolling back onto the spine, and using that movement dynamically. One little roll, one soft forward fold. We're going to find our way from here to a boat line, floating the arms alongside the body, and then adding a single leg stretch. Keeping your weight tipped just off your tailbone with a nice long line through the trunk. We're going to end right leg stretched, left leg bent in table, hold it. Then tuck into a cross-legged seat. Let's do right leg in front of left. Hands just cupping the knees and start to play with a little kundalini spiral through the trunk. We're working in a clockwise fashion. And you can make that circle as small or as big as you need it today. Ending nice and tall and starting to play with a twisting rotation side to side through the trunk. Holding opposite hand to knee while twisting away from that grasp. We're going to end grasping the right knee, looking over the right shoulder, and holding that tall seat. Just trying to lengthen the line of the spine while holding that gentle, detoxifying twist through the trunk. Breathing as deeply as you can into the right side of your rib cage. Undo the twist. Come back to neutral and find your way into a diamond-like seat, thinking soles of the feet together. Grasping onto your shin bones, we're going to find a big breath in here, thinking chin to sky, elbow points heavy to the floor. And then on an exhale, we're going to round out into a cat. Beginning to find a seated cat-cow. trying to hollow the back slightly as you look up to the sky, and then rounding it out on an exhale as you find your cat. We're going to end in the cat-like stretch, holding that contraction in the belly, looking down towards the belly button. Then find a long stretch through the spine. Find your way to a floating butterfly, or ease your way into Merudandasana. You can either hold onto your ankles or your toes as you try to extend the legs and open them into a V-like frame. You could even be holding onto the inner thighs, and you could work with a softer bend through the knees if that works for you. Hold your stretch. Then ease your way back into your tall seat. Find Jupiter Mudra and begin to play with that seesaw, front and back, working with your breath. We're going to try to end in the forward lean. We're going to frame our ears. We're going to look down towards our knees and just stretch the line on our spine. Then lean back, find your way into your boat line and hold. Back to a nice tall staff seat, stacking. Let's do right arm on top of left, bear down and bear up, and then start to find that single leg lift on the left. End in the lift, hold it. Then try to keep your legs in that staggered pattern as you start to find your way into a hollow hold, falling back, imprinting your lower and your mid back, keeping your abs contracted. Start to soften your toes and work a soft little fluttering motion through the feet. End with your legs alongside each other, reaching through your toes, keeping that contraction in your belly. Then bend your knees, ground your feet, relax your back line, but float your fingers to the sky. Big breath in. On an exhale, you're going to come into a little tuck, floating your arms alongside your hips. And then inhale to come back to the mat. Shooting for 5 controlled repeats, pausing in the contraction once you've found it. Hold your next contraction. Then relax the feet and the arms to the mat as we find some plain bridge articulations. Peeling up, belly to sky, peeling down. Give yourself roughly 5 dynamic bridge articulations, looking to run through the line of the spine as you peel up and down from the mat. We're going to end in the bridge line. Take a moment to check that your hips are even on both sides, and then when you're ready, start to find that marching pattern through the legs. Trying not to dip through the hips as you play. We're going to end with the left leg up. Hold for 10. Reground when you're ready. Peel back down with control. Take a recovery breath. Then some tucks when you're ready. Exhaling to peel shoulders, head, feet off the mat, holding onto the back of your thighs. Then inhale to reground. Looking for 5 controlled repeats. Looking to hold and pause in that scoop once you've found it. Let's hold the last tuck. And then when you're ready, use the tuck to rock up into a staff sit with a gentle forward fold, repeating that roll and fold maybe 5 times. Find your way from here into a bent boat line, and then add a single leg stretch when you're ready. We're going to try to end with the left leg extended, right leg bent. And then ease your way from here into a cross-legged seat. We'll do the left leg in front of right, taking a moment to find your sits bones. Wrap your hands around your knees. And then little Kundalini spiral. This time we're going to be working anti-clockwise. Working with your breath. And in neutral, lengthening through your spine, and begin to find an alternating side to side twist. Grasping opposite hand to knee. We're going to end grasping right hand to left knee. Hold that twist. Trying to lengthen the line of your trunk. Then undo the twist. Find your way into the diamond seat. So think loose butterfly. Holding onto your shins. Inhale as you look up to the sky. Exhale as you round out and cat. Trying to relax your elbows to your thighs as you hollow out the back slightly when you're looking up to the sky. And then rounding out the line of your back as you contract your abs and find your cat. Give yourself a few dynamic rounds. We're going to end in that cat. Hold it. Then ease your way into neutral, either just finding a floating butterfly line, holding onto your ankles, or perhaps translating this into dancing bear. Long stretch through the arms, the legs, and the line of your spine, if you can find it. Heads up. From here, we're coming into a hollow hold, and we're going to bring our hands into Jupiter Mudra. So you're going to think of starting to fall back, contracting your abs, bracing into your feet. Bringing the palms together, interlacing the fingers, index fingers together, thumbs crossed. Then relax to the mat, finding a soft, almost corpse-like frame through the body, and just starting to take a gentle stretch through the line of your legs, through the line of your arms, through the line of your spine. Then keeping this relaxed lie into the mat, we're going to use the tips of our fingers to massage up from the inside of one hip bone towards the belly, walking our way through from one side of the body to the opposite side. So we'll start on the inside of one hip bone and then walk our fingers across the line of the belly in a massaging motion onto the inside of the opposite hip bone. And you're going to do that a few times dynamically. You can close your eyes and enjoy that press into the belly, pressing with as much force through the fingertips as you're comfortable with. So find the press depth that works for you. And pressing both palms gently down into the belly. And then ease your way into a soft, like corpse lie on the mat. Arms relaxed at your side, palms up, both arms and legs gently splayed out. Wriggle the toes of both feet and stretch from both hip bones to your toes before relaxing the line of your legs totally. Then wriggle through your trunk and belly side to side. Come to stillness, try to stretch the line of your trunk. And then just relax and melt into the mat before wriggling both sets of fingertips. And then stretching through the line of your arms and your fingers before relaxing and melting your shoulders and your arms into the mat. Then start to release your neck, flopping your head side to side for a few, rolling through the head and the neck. You're going to end flopped to the left. Pause here, stretching the right side of your neck. Then side to side, release again. Before you end with your head flopped to the right this time, pause there, releasing into the left side of your neck. Find your way to neutral. Close your eyes, take your focus inward, and just start to relax your breath. Looking for deep, relaxed inhales and equally relaxed exhales. Stay here on the back or find your way into a seated frame if you prefer. To end off today's practice with just a mindful few words. Sometimes the most beautiful thing is precisely the one that comes unexpectedly and unearned. A surprise that lifts your spirits. Keep yourself open and receptive to the unexpected. It may just be the welcome surprise that you need today. With that thought, let's nod chin to chest on the words Om Shanti. Peace within, peace without. Thank you so much for coming out and joining me today. Till next time, keep it light.